I've only signed up for one thing in my entire life. And I don't consider my marriage the thing because me and this lady, it feels like we've known each other forever. And I am so in love and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that God decided to create you just for me. And I hope you feel the same way. If you don't, we're in trouble. But it's cool. But I thank you. And this is my wife, Tanya, y'all, and she's my baby. But the one thing I signed up, and I don't consider having children something that I signed up. Max is our firstborn. And I know what you're thinking. He looks like his mother. Yes, she had him last night. He grew fast and he learned a trade so he can pay for dinner. But this is our buddy, Max Brown. He's my good friend and my son's godfather. I don't consider children being the thing I signed up because they came out of me and I love them so much. I love them more than I love myself. That's not the thing I'm talking about. But the thing I am talking about is I signed up for the United States Army. Not only did I sign up for the Army, I signed up during a special time in history. It's called wartime. I had no clue. I wasn't watching the news. I was too busy hanging with my family and too busy making a baby that I knew I could not take care of. So in order for me to rectify that situation, I told my dad, I said, Dad, I know you know that I've kind of already have messed up my life and I got a baby on the way. And I thought my dad was going to say something like, boy, I can't believe you. But he said, son, you made your bed, now go lie in it. And that was the most powerful statement anybody has ever said to me up until that point. So after I thought about it, I came back and said, Dad, that statement was so deep, I don't know what it means. And it's so profound, I don't think it's for me at this moment. I need help. What should I do? Well, my father said, son, when I couldn't figure things out, I did what I saw my brothers do. He said, I signed up and joined the military, and I served. I said, okay. I looked at it, and I said, I'm going to go into the Army. When I got in basic training, I realized there was this thing happening called the war. And I didn't think much of it. I just kept thinking about, wow, I'm going to be able to provide for my daughter. Wow, my daughter will not be another statistic. As far as I was concerned, I did not come from a family of men that did not raise their children. My family's sitting right here in the front row. I love them. They're from Cleveland. Y'all make some noise for my family. But I was excited because the military gave me stability and it gave me an opportunity to take care of my daughter. And then I got to my unit, my duty station, and I realized that we were going to war. I immediately became overwhelmed with fear. I'm not like all you courageous people in this room, because as I look in your eyes, I can tell that all y'all are G.I. Joes and G.I. Janes. But I'm Gomer Powell. We got a problem. It ain't in Houston. It's in Germany. But I got to where my unit was. My unit was in Baghdad, Iraq. I got there, and immediately I was faced with a situation that called for me to have to put down an 8-year-old boy. Immediately I was faced with a situation that opened my eyes that this wasn't the video games as I watched grown men's body parts separate in midair from an IED or an explosive device. I realized that not every soldier that cries war and that's strong, not every soldier that's all Rambo-ish, some soldiers are filled with fear, just like me. So when I got done with the war, I came home with the war. Some of you as civilians, you ask yourselves, I keep hearing this term PTSD. What does that mean? And some of the older people in this room, we've watched comedians for years make fun of people who were shell shocked. I too did laugh, but now that I'm one of them, I can accurately explain to you what PTSD is. PTSD is this: while a soldier is away fighting for this country, fighting for every person in this room, we do everything we can to stay alive while at war. And now that we're done and that we're home, the war does everything it can to stay alive in us. Think about that. It's difficult. It's hard sometimes. And you can't tell anybody what you're going through. And then the toughest thing for a soldier is to be faced with the part of the war that you can't do anything about. When you see your country frustrated, you can't do anything about it. We all saw that in 2020, didn't we? The pandemic hit, the frustrations. We watched our loved ones leave. We could do nothing about it. We saw it. We saw the mental attacks on the personnel in this country, especially those that look like me. We saw a lot of Black people lives once again get taken, and we saw some innocent Black people get blamed for things, and then we saw some innocent white people get blamed from things, and we saw a lot of white people get told that, hey, until your kid is hanging from a tree, you'll never understand what it feels like. And we as soldiers can't do anything about that. And I almost lost every piece of my mind in the pandemic. But I got a secret weapon. Tanya. My wife, she does this thing that I was raised on. She does this thing that became the soundtrack to the freedom of this country, the liberation of this world. And it's called prayer. Not trying to force any beliefs on anybody, but had it not been for the prayers every morning in that pink room of my wife, I would not be standing in this circle at the National African American Museum of African American Music. I wouldn't be here at TED Talk. But my wife prayed for me. She stayed with me. She loved me. For my birthday, she bought me a massage table. And every morning, faithfully, every morning, my wife lays me down on that massage table and massages me from head to toe and prays over me and tries to tell me that today's going to be a good day, even when she looks in my eyes and my eyes say otherwise. I wrote this song right here. It's called A Little Prayer for Me. And I'd like for you all to hear the words, and I think it can tell you what I explained to Tanya in the pandemic. Come on, honey. Come on, son. If I stand out in the rain, holding a sign that reads, I'm sorry, would you consider taking me back into your arms finally? What if I went the extra mile and gave up on all the late night life? Would you take back my grandma's ring and let me make you my wife? 'Cause I have learned through the many years you've been swimming in an ocean made from the tears I've caused you to weep. But I'm so glad that you decided to say a little prayer for me. Ladies and gentlemen, Tanya Trotter.
I choose to walk away, leaving you out in the cold. Would you still be kind to me, showing off that heart of gold? Are you willing to wait for me, even if it means in our next life? Oh yeah. Then I'll take back your grandma's ring and let you make me your wife. 'Cause I have learned through the many years you've been swimming in an ocean made from the tears I've caused you to weep. But I'm so glad that you decided to say a little prayer for me. Oh, not just an old Hail Mary, one of them backwood on my house is what I need right now. But I'm so glad that you decided to say a little prayer for me. Oh, if I traded the beer cans for a drink of love out of these hands. Oh, 'cause I thought love from you was all I need until you said a little prayer just for me. Most people get 3 things. I got 2. And 2 came in the form of my wife and then my community. 2017, I was on a roll. I saw that we were living in Baltimore and we were going nowhere. And I think sometimes, Christian, we have to assess our careers and realize that sometimes we got to make moves out of our comfort zones. So I looked at that and I said, you know, we're not getting anywhere here. I think we need to move to Michigan. Now, we're musicians. I hear you. I see. Musicians moving to Michigan. So the obvious thing is to go to Detroit. We move to Albion, Michigan. No one knows where that is. In fact, there's more people in this room than in that town. But I thought we were okay. I thought I was okay. It's my last story for you. And I hit a bump in the road. But I was tired of hitting bumps in the road. See, to look at me on the outside, I'm a big, jolly guy. I'm not fat. I'm just mature in my weight. And from the looks of it, some of you need to grow up. Don't get fat. Just get mature. Tired of failing. Had no job. Couldn't get a job. Failing. Tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Failing. Tired of looking for encouragement from my wife and she giving it to me but not having nothing for her in return. Failing.
Tired of hearing that my daughters need shoes and my son needs new clothing. Not knowing how I'm going to get it, failing. And the last straw, rent. You been there? Rent. Rent is due. And this is the last straw for me, Michael Trotter Jr. So I woke up that morning and I had it all set. And I don't know anybody in this room, but I don't know if you've ever been here, but the one thing I've learned through living is you cannot look at a person's face and ask them if they're okay and they say yes. And you just think, they are. Just ask Robin Williams' family. But I had a plan. I said, call my ma, call my pa, kiss my wife, kiss my son, and then that afternoon, I'm going to end it. Afternoon came and I was sitting on the stairs in that house that we were getting ready to get kicked out of. And I like to say this a lot. I say, and then love snitched on me. I told you I had two forms of support. My wife, she came, and then she opened the front door, and in walked the Albion police and fire departments. And they lined themselves up. And my wife walked up to me. I'm sitting on the stairs, that zoned out soldier look, who's been to war and who's lost, can't find his way without the bombs and guns. But my wife got down and she got in between my legs and she took her hands and she put them on my face. And she lifted my head. And she said, Michael, I know you got a plan to end it all. I can tell. Today feels different. But if you would just give me 5 more minutes to love you, I promise I can make going on make sense. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes, please. And then the second support part kicked in because then people who didn't even know me, the Albion police and the Albion fire department, they said, stay with her, man. Come on, listen to her. Hold on. Stay with her. Don't leave us just yet. Don't leave us just yet. And for some reason, it reminded me of something. The same thing happened to me in Iraq. Every day, I kept waking up thinking that I was next. And I'm going to go and I'm going to die. And then I had a guy, a commander, walk up to me and say, you're going to make it home. Just hold on. Just stay with me, bro. You're going to make it. Do you believe me? And I'm sad to report that he gave me something that he couldn't even give himself. Because just when he got me to the point to where I could hold on and I felt strong and I felt like I had a place in the war, he gets killed. But in Albion, Michigan in 2017, he came in the form of all those men and women in uniform. And my wife said, please, 5 minutes. And I'm still living in those 5 minutes right now. Come on. My last song and my last plea to anyone in this room. From this vantage point, every single one of you, you look fine. You're beautiful, even Valerie, everybody. I'm serious now. You look great. But I can't see your emotions inside. So all I can say to you is this. if you're not okay, just know that there's somebody out there like her and those men and women that are just dying to get just 5 more minutes with you. For our sake, for the sake of this beautiful world, for the sake of your brothers and sisters, whether they're white or black, it doesn't matter. Understand that you are necessary and you matter. And 5 more minutes of you can change the entire universe. Just like that. And this song is for you. 5 more minutes. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just for you, Ah. Don't give up, y'all. Come on.
Leaving so soon.
All right.
It's like we just arrived. Did I play the right tune?
Yeah.
For your pleasure tonight. Stay with me, don't leave just yet. We got all night, so please forget about tomorrow. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes to love. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes to love.
Have you tasted the wine? Smoked a little wisdom in the rain. Are you feeling like getting a little crazy? Stay with me, don't you leave just yet. We got all night, so please forget about tomorrow. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes to love. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes to We got all night, so please forget about tomorrow. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes to love. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes to love. Ooh. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes to love. That's all I have, everybody. God bless you. Take it easy. 5 minutes. Thank you.